Hello, my fellow cohabitants of the planet Earth. Did you know life is complicated? So many moving parts within and without us. The circumstances we were born to, the circumstances we grew up in. I made a lot of videos about this, so I'm not really going to get into all the dynamics of all the things that exist beyond our control, our circumstances, our origins, our history, to get us to this point where we are now. Some of us take too little responsibility. For themselves, for their life. They don't take into account how their actions, behaviors, attitudes, reactions, choices, and decisions have an effect. That they have an impact. How you spend your day, who you spend your day with, who you surround yourself with, what you choose to do about the circumstances you find yourself in have an impact. What kind of person you choose to be, how you choose to behave for yourself and for other people, what footprint you leave on this planet has an impact. People don't take accountability or responsibility. They feel like life happens to them, and they're in constant walking response to it. They're not conscious enough. And then there's the other side. You may be neurotic. You may be perfectionistic. You may have low self-esteem, and so you are hiding under a veil of neuroticism and perfectionism. You may feel that you don't have control in your life, so you try to control everything you possibly can. You may have felt disempowered at some point in your life, so you try to attain power and control to establish control. You may be a female in a male-dominated industry, and so you have to project masculine traits you feel to be taken seriously. You feel as though this inherent nagging sense of lack of self-worth, that you are not lovable or powerful or innately majestic as you are, so you have to be acclaimed for what you do. You can be worthy and worthwhile for what you do, that drives you to these doings, that drives you to take the weight of the world on your shoulders. There can be any number of reasons that drive a person to the opposite end of the pendulum, where they are completely oblivious to their own impact in their own life and the lives of others and the life of the planet and life in general, their own agency, to feeling utterly responsible for their own life, for the direction of their life, past, present, future, the feelings of others, the reactions of others, the outcomes. We can control output. We can control our effort and our intention. We can't control outcomes. Outcomes are out of our hands. They take into their hands the responsibility for things that are outside of their responsibility. They take complete, unfair, unreal burden on their shoulders of the entire trajectory of their life, past, present, and future, and every element in their life, their relationships, other people, their career. They just take over responsibility. Remember the trichotomy of control. There are three types of things. Things you have total control over, things you have some control over, things you have no control over. None of us, no matter how conscientious, no matter how driven, no matter how attentive, are 100% accountable, nor should we be, for every aspect, every breath we breathe, everything in our lives. 100% accountability for the things that are beyond our control. 100% accountability for other people. 100% accountability for outcomes. What you do with those outcomes, how you interact with those people, how you cope with and manage those situations, that's within your control. But if you want to be neurotic, you want to wear your stress levels down, your coping resources down, your desire to get up in the morning and face the day down. You want to carry guilt and shame and regret and beat yourself while you're down for every misstep along the way. Take on all the things that are not your responsibility, and take on 100% of every second of your life, every second of that second, every day, and every element of it on your shoulders. The weight of it all will destroy you. Your life is your responsibility. Take appropriate responsibility for yourself. Do not take responsibility for the things that you are not responsible for. And have an understanding that there are larger schemas going on in this world that are interplaying with you all the time, that are beyond your control. You have to play within the story as it's written. Play within the game as the rules are laid out. Break the rules if you can. But the rules are still there whether you break them or you follow them. Being overly accountable, anally retentively accountable, will cause burnout, poor physical and mental health. You taking on responsibility for things that are not your responsibility. It will stress you to the brink. We are not in control of the world. We don't need to self-monitor our lives to such a minutia, moment by moment, play by play. Take so much responsibility that we become neurotic. Take enough responsibility that you become effective. Perfection doesn't exist. And the things you aren't responsible for, you are not responsible for. What is the point in worrying oneself too much about what one could or should have done to control the course of one's life? Surely it is enough that the likes of you and I at least try to make our small contribution count for something true and worthy. What is the point in worrying oneself too much about what one could or should have done to control the course one's life took? Surely it is enough that you and I, small as we are in the grand scheme of the universe, give the good college a try to take adequate responsibility and leave a decent footprint, a good contribution for having been given the gift of life we've been given, not the authority to control life itself. Take that burden off your shoulders. Realize there's a lot at play besides just you. Take that stress off. Don't fret so much about every little thing. What good does it do? What is the point in worrying oneself too much about what one could or should have done to control the course of one's life? Surely it is enough that the likes of you and I at least try to make our small contribution count for something true and worthy. Worthy. Just like you guys, gals, he, she, they, and anyone I don't know yet. Strangers, friends, acquaintances, whoever you are. I love you. Because you all deserve to be loved, you are worthy, and you deserve a good day. I hope you have one. Good morning. Goodbye. And I got a Davida, baby. Don't you know that I'll always be true? And I got a Davida, honey.